A lot of people on the left think that the reason so many people still support MAGA is because they were brainwashed into it. That they were brainwashed into abandoning their morals and manipulated into cruelty, corruption, and authoritarianism. And while right-wing propaganda is undeniably a part of the story, the explanation is incomplete. Because for many MAGA supporters, they didn't abandon their moral framework. MAGA simply aligned with it. So today I want to explain a fundamental psychological difference between many MAGA supporters and those of us on the left that helps explain why MAGA support is so persistent. To understand that, we need to understand something called circles of moral concern, which refers to the range of people we feel moral obligation toward. At the center is the self, our own safety, our own survival, and our own well-being. And for most people, it then extends to family, and then to community, and then to nation. And for some people, it extends further still to humanity as a whole. And research consistently shows that people on the left tend to have broader moral circles. Their sense of obligation often includes immigrants, marginalized groups, future generations, and people far outside their immediate social circle. This is why issues like immigration, civil rights, and climate change feel morally urgent, because those groups fall within their moral circle. MAGA supporters, on the other hand, tend to have narrower moral circles. Moral concern is often concentrated around self, family, and close community. And even when it does extend to the nation, it's often conditional and tied to who is seen as truly belonging. And one of the most important things to understand here is that people operating from opposing moral frameworks often view each other negatively. From the perspective of someone with a broad moral framework, narrower frameworks are often seen as selfish or harmful. From the perspective of someone with a narrow moral framework, broader ones are often seen as unrealistic or morally irresponsible. So, a logical next question here is, where do narrow moral circles come from in the first place? And the answer is largely psychological and contextual. Moral concern reliably narrows under conditions of threat, uncertainty, and perceived scarcity. When people feel unsafe or overwhelmed, their attention and concern narrows, and protection of close social groups is prioritized. This is an evolved survival response. And MAGA messaging exploits this dynamic. Narratives centered on national threats or scarcity activate fear and threat responses that shrink moral concern. And as moral concern narrows, support increases for politics that prioritize insiders over outsiders, which then incentivizes more threat-based messaging within the MAGA movement. This dynamic helps explain why MAGA support is so durable. Leading the movement isn't just about changing opinions or learning new facts. It requires expanding a pre-existing moral circle. And for many people, especially those immersed in fear-driven media environments, that expansion feels unsafe or irresponsible. So if you want to dive deeper into this topic, head over to my Substack. The link is in my bio.